Welcome everyone to a new series where I teach my friend how to speak Japanese using Rainbow Six Siege. My friend who is here with us today is Tyler. I don't know why I said my friend earlier. Say hi, Tyler.
Hello.
We will get into all of the things that we will have that we'll be doing in a little bit, uh, but we'll probably be doing gameplay for the most of it, even while we're explaining things. At least after the beginning part.
And don't expect us to be good because we probably won't be taking the game seriously, mainly because we are focusing on the Japanese portion of it.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
we die a lot, that it's because we're not paying attention to the
Yeah.
game.
And people on my screen, sorry that it's in Japanese. I need to have it that way, otherwise I might forget some of the vocabulary. Um, and for things that I haven't actually put onto the list of vocabulary quite yet, which you'll see in a little bit.
Sweet.
So now we will go over uh, the document, which for anyone interested, you can use the link down below in the video if you would like to use this document that I prepared for us. It has some helpful stuff, not just for Siege, but for general Japanese as well. I don't know about Tyler, but at least I will be putting up little screenshots of what we're talking about on the video, or if you want to, you can also just follow along on your own browser. So are you looking at the document right now, Tyler?
Yeah.
But the first one is arguably the most important, just because it is the base, like the building blocks of everything in Japanese. They're the particles.
Particles. All right.
Uh, they're basically usually single syllable or two syllables that are put at the end of a word to mark its place in a sentence or mark its use in a sentence. So, for example, you've probably heard watashi wa, that kind of thing. The wa is a particle, and it's saying that you're talking about watashi, which is me or I. So knowing those and being able to hear them in a sentence are very important for understanding sentence structures in Japanese. Do you have any questions about any of them just right off of the bat? Like, at least the Japanese or the English translation that doesn't make any sense to you personally, Tyler?
Besides pronunciations, no, but we'll eventually get to those.
Okay. Yeah, so pronunciation is very simple. Japanese is, with very few exceptions, a not a tonal language, but what you see is what you'll say every time. So there are five vowels in the Japanese language. There's a, I, U, E, and O, which I'll probably have overlays for later. I don't have that in this because there are a bunch of apps to figure out how to learn all of that kind of stuff. And Tyler has his own methods of learning it. I'm not sure how far along he is on the hiragana and the katakana, so we're not going to be worrying about that in this series.
About
Um,
5 minutes, like 3 years ago. So yeah.
he'll be doing that on his own. So yeah, is in the romanized version, which is called romaji in Japanese. Um, Roma being Rome and ji being character. Uh, is usually a, or is a. I don't know why I said usually. It's a. E is I, U is U, E is E, and O is O. all the time.
A, I, U, and O.
A, I, U, E, and O. Yes.
A, I, U, E, O.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Those
Okay.
5. Never pronounced differently than that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we'll just quickly fly by the particles. We'll get back to that because that's what we're going to be working on. Down below that is conjugation. This is literally all the conjugation you will ever need.
Oh, good. Unlike Spanish, where there's like
Yes.
4,000 trees.
Yes, there are 4 trees in Japanese. 4. There's ichidan, there's yodan, there's suru and kuru. And suru and kuru are 2 verbs, which have their own special things. Everything else will either fall into an ichidan verb or a yodan.
Okay.
Ichidans will always end in iru or eru.
That's right, because I and E, right? Iru, Eru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Iru and eru. So, for example, miru, which means to see, is an ichidan verb, and that is what is called the dictionary form, or the dictionary base, which is base 3. So if you ever want to find out what the base form of something is, you can take one of its other verbs or one of its other forms and then turn it into base 3, and that will give you the dictionary definition of the verb. Base 1 of miru and base 2 of miru are going to be the same with all ichidan verbs. It'll just be mi. So you take off the last ru, and that's the stem. So it's mi, and then you don't put anything because there's nothing there. Base 3, obviously miru. Oh geez, I messed up. I accidentally edited that when I didn't mean to. Base 4, mire. Base 5, mio. Base te, mite. Base ta, mita.
Okay. Question.
Mm-hmm.
For all these different ones, is this like different meanings, or different way? Like when you're saying a sentence, is there a specific one you should use, or
yes, there are
Okay.
specific circumstances that you'll use each one. I won't go over all of them right now because there's quite a few.
But they all mean the same thing. If I said miru or miyo or whatever, it all means whatever that word is.
Yes, it all means see, just like see, saw,
Seen,
sees,
sees. Okay.
all those
That's
kind of things.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
That's what those endings are.
Yes.
Okay.
It just depends on how you're using it in a sentence, such as a very quick conjugation is if you want to command someone to look at something, you can use base 4 and say mire. And that's like a very, like, you're looking down at someone like, you better look, kind of a thing.
Which
For
base
example.
is like past, present, and future? So like I saw, I see.
Present is miru, base 3.
So present
is base 3.
Okay.
We will get to tenses later on. Conjugation has nothing to do with tenses. Conjugation is only for using a verb in different contexts. It's a little hard to explain, but yeah, we'll get to tenses in just a little bit. Everything else is yodan. Just to quickly go through this. So, for example, iku, to go. That is a yodan. So what you do is you take off the last sound, the last u, and you keep the consonant, and then you add whichever one of the vowels you see there to get the different bases. So base 1 is ika, base 2 is iki, base 3 iku, base 4 ike, base 5 iko, and then the base te and base ta have a special song, which I'll get to in just a second. And then if it's ever just on its own, or sorry, if it's ever a vowel right next to another vowel, which I believe is called a diphthong in linguistic terms, such as ow, which means to meet. Base 1 will not be ah, it'll be awa. You'll add the W sound into it. Does that make sense?
I've got a lot of information coming at me right now.
So you see where it says base 1 of a double vowel verb is wa in the middle of the conjugation.
Base 1 of a double value verb is wa. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, if there's two vowels right next to each other, such as au, au, to meet, you wouldn't take base 1 of the up here and just do ah. You would say awa. We'll get into how to use the bases in context of sentences later. This is just kind of an overview so that people can come back to this video if they ever need to and get a basic understanding of how this whole document is set up. Gotcha. So the base te and ta are using this base te ta song, which is to the melody of Silver Bells. So depending on what other what the ending vowel is, it will change how you do it. So to not sing it at first, if it ends in u, tsu, or ru, you'll have the te song, which specifically has a kind of a extra plosive T sound indicated by the two T's.
So instead of like te, it'd be like te.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like ate is base te of ow, to meet.
Okay.
Bumu nu use nde, which has that N sound. And ku uses ite, gu uses ide, and su uses shite. And then the same thing with base ta, except for replace the last a with an a. And so the song, as you can probably, I don't know if it's too clear on this. I tried to write it in a clear way, but the melody is utsuru te bumunun de kuite guide sushite are the te and ta bases. And I'm very flat, I know, but that's fine because this is in a singing class.
I will judge you on that.
But yeah, so if you ever need to figure out what the te or ta base is of a song, you can always just go through that in your head. Be like, oh, I can't remember what mu is. Utsuru te bumu noon de. Okay, it's de. And such and such. We'll get more into that again later. This is just an overview of everything here. Next, we have counters. Which obviously we only have 1 through 10. That's basically all you need to do to get up to 100, or to get up to 99, I guess. The basic numbers, obviously, ichi, ni, san, yon, or I forgot to put she can also be there. For 4, go is 5. Roku 6, Shichi or Nana for 7, Hachi for 8, Q or Ku for 9, and Ju for 10. And just if you want to say, like, if you're counting up or down, that's what you would use. If you're counting a specific thing, or like not a specific thing, but like a general thing, let's just say you're trying to count how many apples you have.
Okay.
You'd use the general counter. So hitotsu is 1, futatsu is 2, mitsu is 3, yotsu is 4, itsutsu is 5, mutsu 6, nanatsu, yatsu, kokonotsu, and to. I don't know why to is just to. There's a very long linguistic thing behind it, but yeah, it's the only one that doesn't end in tsu. It's to.
Okay.
And then specifically for our purposes, I put this in here because you have to say how many people are alive or how many people are near you. So this is very helpful for that. 1 and 2 are special, then everything else is above that is the same to infinity. 1 person is hitori, 2 people is futari, and then anything above that, 3, 5, 7, 100, 1,000, is whatever that number is, and then nin. So gonin is 5 people.
Okay.
So
1 and 2 is always going to be hitori or futari, but anything above that, if I want to do like 8, it'd be hachi ni.
Nin. There's the N at the end.
Nin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And then to count above 10, say you want to say 11 through 19, that'll be Ju, and then whatever number you want to say. So like 15 will be Jugo for 10, 5, 15. Or if you're doing 17, you wouldn't use Shichi. I mean, you can. Sounds a little weird. You'd use Junana. So that's 17. If you want to say like 20, 30, 40, you'd put the number before. So if you want to say 40, you would say Yonju. Or if you want to say 45, you'd say Yonjuko. And that's how you count all the way up to 99. Yeah. Demonstratives. Basically, this, that, here, there. So demonstratives, obviously, this, that, here, there, that kind of stuff. In order to make one of the words, such as like this, you would go over to where this is, and then you would go up, or you go left and then up. So kore for this, or that, which is used in place of an earlier word, are, like that thing you mentioned earlier, are. To say like this specific noun, like this controller, you would say kono controller. To say a place, koko. To say a kind of thing like this kind of video, kona video. Tenses. This is what you were asking about earlier. I thought it was not going to take this long to get to this. But sorry for pushing it off this long. This is how you do past, present, positive, and negative. So for the verbs specifically, as you can see, the second one down, plain form verb, which is what we're going to be using since we're pretty familiar with each other, since we've known each other for like half of our lives.
Right.
Base 3 is positive present, or present positive. If you want to say it like, it is not, I cannot see, or I am not seeing it, or will not. It could also be future. They don't have a future tense. It's the same as present tense. You would use base 1, which if you go back up, base 1 of miru is mi, and then you would add nai to the end of it. So minai. I don't see, or I will not see a video or something. I don't know. To say something is past tense, you use base ta. So for miru, it's mita. And that's all you need to do for past tense. Base negative. Past negative is base 1 nakata. So again, miru mi nakata. Or if we're doing yodon, iku, like we did earlier, present positive is iku, present negative is ikanai, past positive is ita, and past negative is ikanakata. You'll get used to all this slowly but surely. For everyone else in the video, using the mas verbs for most circumstances, unless you're talking to a friend, everything is base 2, and then you add the different endings to it. So to use iku still, ikimasu for present positive, ikimasen for present negative, ikimashita for past positive, or ikimasen deshita for past negative. And then the plain form des and the des boxes are just what they are. Des is, for those who don't know, basically the end of a sentence and can generally be translated to is most of the time. It's always at the end of a sentence when it's used as is. So if you're being a little more formal, you can say dearu, that's a little old, or you can say da for the plain form. Dewanai, janai, everything on the left side is of the slashes, I guess this way for my camera, is the older, more formal, kind of mid-formal way of saying it, and then everything on the right side of the slash is what we'll be using. So da, janai, datta, janakatta. And then des, dewarimasen, deshita, dewarimasen deshita. Okay. And the rest is vocabulary, which we'll get into later. That's kind of simple. Ish. If it's a verb, it usually has 2 at the beginning of it. If you want to make something into a verb, you just add suru at the end.
Right.
The end. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you want to see more, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to catch me live, head over to my Twitch channel. And if you want to hear more music like this, head over to my music channel. Links in the description below.